This is episode 23 of the ongoing Pseudocode series, and in this episode we are looking at functions. So functions are a subroutine that is coded to perform a specific task and return a value. So you see that this is more or less the same as a procedure, but the only difference is that a function is always going to return a value. Then another important distinction that we need to make here is that a function is going to be used as part of an expression. That is to say, it doesn't make use of the core keyword. If you remember in procedures, we say that when you define a procedure and when you call it, you are calling it as a statement, as it were. But now with a function, you don't necessarily make use of the core keyword, but you are going to make use of a function as part of an expression. So to get us started, let's actually go ahead and declare a function right here. So we want to define a function called square value, and square value is actually going to take a number of type integer, then it's going to return an integer as well. So this is how you define a function. You specify the function with the function keyword, then you give the function identifier, then you give the optional parameters or the optional arguments that you want to be in your function. Then you also specify the return type by using the returns keyword. So in this particular instance, this function is actually going to return an integer. And then what we can do in this particular instance is we can declare let's call a value. Let's not call it doubled. Let's just call it answer in this particular instance. So answer is going to be of type integer. Then what we want to do is now we want to take answer and assign it the value of number to the power of 2, or number squared, as it were. So you remember that the caret symbol, this one, it's the exponentiation symbol. So we are just raising the number to the power of 2, essentially multiplying the number by itself. Then what we are going to do is we are going to make use of the return keyword right here. So we are going to return answer in this particular instance. So the difference now is, take notice that there we are making use of returns, but inside of the body on line number 7, we are making use of the return keyword, not returns. So that's very important to take note of there. So when we call this function, typically, remember, according to the comment on line number 2 there, we are going to use square value. Let me call it square value right here. Square value, we're actually going to make use of square value inside of an expression. So what you would normally do is we'll have a value called let's just call it I want to use answer because I've already used it. Maybe let me just call it value. Then it's going to be of type integer. Then what we can do now is inside of value we are going to store we are going to call square value, but notice we don't make use of the core keyword whenever we are making use of functions, because remember, functions are part of an expression, whereas procedures are part of a statement. So let's say we use a value of 9 right there. So essentially what's going to happen is that value is going to hold 81, as it were, because 9 squared is actually equal to 81. So this is what we mean by when we say that a function is going to be used as part of an expression in pseudocode. Then yeah, I think that's all about functions. Maybe just to mention, you can also have a function that doesn't return a value. You can just have a void function, as it were. So maybe you can declare a function called let's say slice name. Then it doesn't necessarily have to have any arguments, but then now it becomes really difficult to make use of functions. So you find out that for the most part you always want to make it so that your functions always take arguments. That way they become more useful. Otherwise, if it's not going to take in arguments, then it's going to be difficult for you to retain any meaningful values, as it were. So yeah, I think that's just about it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.